1540 AM Power 104.5 FM. The legendary Lou Rawls right there, and Lady Love. 6:50 time, 6:55. There you go. Is the time, and it's time now to head on over back to the Met Office, where we find Shivari Watson-Ramming taking another look at the weather.
Our general situation. Deep layer troughing will continue to trigger bouts of unsettled weather across the southeast Bahamas. Elsewhere, building high pressure, supported by a weak cold front across the northwest Bahamas, will remain as the dominant weather feature, generating brisk breezes and choppy seas through tonight. Boaters in the southeast Bahamas should remain vigilant due to the threat of possible waterspout activity. Beachgoers should exercise extreme caution due to the risk of dangerous recurrence along eastern and Atlantic exposed shorelines. Lastly, residents living and traversing in low-lying and flood-prone areas in the southeast Bahamas should take special precautions during heavy.
This is the ZNS Network, providing radio and high-definition television services for the entire Bahamas. ZNS Network is operated by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. It is located at Harcourt Rusty Bethel Drive, Centerville, Nassau. Our programming is designed to inform, educate, and entertain. We invite you to join us.
The following is a preamble of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now, know we therefore, we the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
It's Wednesday, April 20th, 2022, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, the wearing of a mask up for consideration, efforts being made to reduce the national debt, the Carifta Swim Championships wraps up, and find out what's on Fisher's plate. So let's start the morning off right.
Edition is brought to you by We Buy You Sell Company, your leading hurricane impact windows, doors, and tile specialist.
It's the middle of the week. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
Good morning, everybody. We're ready for a jam-packed Wednesday. I'm Charles Fisher. Let's get right to the streets where our Anthony Smith is standing by with your Wednesday morning traffic. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, Fisher and LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. Your Wednesday morning traffic report is coming to you live from Blue Hill Road and St. Vincent Road. Now, this is quite an active area with both a lot of motorists and pedestrians traversing the street this morning. Nonetheless, with us, as always, is Corporal Patrick Kemp of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Anthony, and good morning, Bahamas.
Now, Kemp, I understand it was a busy weekend for traffic officers this morning. Quite a few infractions handed out. Tell us about what the police were up to this weekend.
Anthony, you're absolutely correct. And for this morning, as you can see, the traffic has built up and persons are going to their various destinations. And I want to encourage the drivers so that to please drive with due care and attention. There is no need for the accidents that take place on our streets. And over the holiday weekend, we have had an active weekend. In fact, we have conducted a number of road checks where we would have cited some 300 plus persons in reference to various offenses on the streets. Surprisingly, though, a lot of persons still have not gotten their vehicle's license and insured as yet. And I want to encourage you drivers of that, please, most importantly, go and insure your vehicles. It's very important because if you find yourself in a bad situation, God forbid it, where a life is lost, you can find yourself doing some serious time that can range anywhere from not exceeding 15 years to a minimum of 5 years for not having your vehicle insured, or killing in the course of reckless, dangerous driving, or driving while under the influence of drugs, alcohol. So I want to encourage you out there to please do what's right for the safety of yourself and other road users.
Obviously, that Easter weekend doesn't mean it was time to, joyride. Tell us about some of the other behavioral offenses that you might have seen that we probably should look out for.
Well, persons are still driving and going through these traffic lights with no care in the world. Remember, when you approach the traffic light and you reach that, and if you have not crossed that light before, if you've not crossed that light at the stop line before it changes the amber, you need to stop. You cross that traffic light, you're running the light, and that's a fine of $250. Persons are still not utilizing their seatbelts. And you know what, Anthony, I gotta say this for these fellas who are riding these motorcycles. You're not exempted when it concerns being put before the court for breaking the law. All right, you want to have these motorcycles also licensed and insured and wear protective headgear. It's very important. All right, there are a number of infractions all day, every day, and this is why we are doing what we're doing to try to minimize or bring those to a stop.
Well, heavy fines and jail time, as that is the result of breaking multiple traffic laws, as Corporal Kemp told us this morning. So you want to take note of that. That's all the time we have for now in this segment. Fisher and LaDawn, we're going to toss it back to you in studio.
Beach looking busy already. We are waking up to 75 degrees, partly sunny, winds east-northeast at 15 miles per hour, humidity 78%. Now, delayed layer troughing will continue to trigger bouts of unsettled weather across the southeast Bahamas. Elsewhere, building high pressure supported by a weak cold front across the northwest Bahamas remain as the dominant weather feature, generating brisk breeze and choppy seas for today. For the northwest and central Bahamas, weather mostly sunny, warm and windy, with a chance of a few light passing showers. For the southeast Bahamas, weather cloudy and occasionally overcast and warm, with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Your daytime high temperature 84 degrees Fahrenheit, overnight low of 72. Thursday, windy and periods of sun, 81 in the day, 73 at night. And then on Friday, partly sunny and windy, 81 in the day, also 73 at night.
The removal of the country's COVID-19 mask mandate was among issues up for discussion at Tuesday's cabinet meeting. The consideration's been going on for some time, particularly as the United States federal court judge struck down the Center for Disease Control's mask mandate for public transportation, including planes, that had been extended to May 3rd. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, assures health officials are monitoring the situation as COVID-19 infections in this country remain low.
Mandate has always been a point of discussion We've discussed it before. The Ministry of Health is looking at it closely, and we are going to be monitoring it. Where we go next will be determined really by the balance that we've been trying to strike all along between the economy and tourism and public health and safety. I anticipate over the course of the next several weeks, you will consistently see a reduction of the protocols.
5 new COVID-19 cases reported in the Ministry of Health's latest release, 3 men and 2 women, all from New Providence, bringing the total number of cases across the country to 33,416. 3 of the new cases have a history of travel within the past 14 days. 5 cases remain in hospital. 133 cases are active, with 3 new recoveries. $10.8 billion is what the national debt is currently pegged at, according to Financial Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Simon Wilson. This has adversely impacted revenue performance. Nevertheless, he says revenue administration and collection continues to be a priority of the Davis administration.
This making sure persons get their bills, making sure that payment mechanisms for taxpayers are much easier. And those efforts have been very successful.
Developers of the Coral Harbor Development Company recently paid a courtesy call on the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister. While he can't make private meetings with potential investors public, the Deputy Prime Minister noted that the Bahamas is open for business.
The investment community and individuals around the world have responded positively. You know that we have attracted more than $1 billion in the first 5 months of being in office. This trend is continuing, and there is significant level of interest in the Bahamas, not just for tourism development, but other projects as well. We're seeing some in renewable energy, in ports, and in other areas as well.
Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies launching its first e-commerce portal and website where consumers are able to purchase medical items hassle-free.
We decided to venture into online shopping is because due to the pandemic, we had a lot of our consumers wanting to shop online. So we had that option for them. You were able to get the same experience as you would coming into the store.
And Deputy to the Governor General Cynthia Pratt learning more about Parkinson's Awareness Month during a courtesy call at the Office of the Governor General. Chairperson of the Kingdor National Parkinson's Foundation, Mavis Darling, presented a book entitled The Invisible Companion, which charts her father's journey with the disease.
We got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We love to brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. 14s get right, they gotta be proud. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
What would I like people to know about women in leadership is that women being in leadership does not deny an opportunity to a man to be in leadership. We can all be in leadership together. And in fact, leadership makes its most effective decisions when it's getting those different viewpoints from all segments of society. My advice would be to young women to never rest on your laurels. Always be thinking about what is the next thing that you can do or need to learn.
Project Y Bahamas set to launch its second cohort pretty soon, known as the Top 49 Millennials. These outstanding Bahamians from various careers will be highlighted for their significant contributions to nation building. The top millennials between the ages of 25 to 41 will receive their awards during a red carpet affair in a few months. Some 365 nominations have already been submitted. Member of the cohort 48, Heather McDonald, talked about the nomination process.
On the website, Project Y Bahamas, you will see the flyer, and there's a link for you to be able to nominate someone, or you could nominate yourself, and you answer the questions there. And I believe that you also have to upload certain documents, and I believe it's just probably a CV along with any other bio or information that you may have of the person that you'd want to nominate. I nominated about 6 persons, so I could only imagine how many other persons have been pouring in with various nominations, because we have a lot of wonderful young entrepreneurs that are just doing their thing. From now there's even a segment for social media influencers.
While excited about welcoming the newest cohorts into the top millennial group, Heather also shared her networking experience.
It's a wonderful opportunity for me to get to be able to meet so many young professionals in various industries. We had persons from nail technicians to even persons who had their own businesses for startups, engineering. We had persons that were in the entertainment industry as well, and persons like myself that came from corporate services. And what we got was something that I really cherish. Reason being is because it was a hard time. 2020, when we got nominated, 2021, it was a time when there was such a disconnect because of the lockdown. And Project Y was able to bring a group of young professionals and philanthropists together to basically help boost everyone else's portfolio.
The Easter Monday holiday featured a lot of the traditional Easter egg hunts for kids. Here's Crystal Dwelling.
Better way to wrap up the Easter holiday weekend than with family and friends. In Fox Hill, the community center pool was officially open for residents.
Well, I'm just really pleased to see the kids back in the pool. The pool's been operational since 2017, but it was allowed to go dark during the last 4.5 years. So we just started getting it back up in shape. And, you know, it's for the kids, and so they obviously seem to be enjoying it. And I'm happy for them. That's why we built it, for them to use it. And they'll be using it throughout the summer.
Over in the Carmichael constituency, activities took place at the Flamingo Gardens Park. Wife of the Member of Parliament for Carmichael explains the many activities they had.
As you know, he's off in Barbados. I'm cheering on the swim team, and so I came out to help celebrate with the great constituency of Carmichael. You know, it's been hard these last 2 years, so we're happy that they're happy. And he wants to wish everybody a happy Easter.
We have cotton candy, we have hot dogs, hamburgers, we have a live band, we have a DJ, we have some what we call the bouncing castle, and a slip and slide for the bigger kids. So we say, come have fun. You know, we were in a pandemic for 2 years. This is like excitement to me, and this is what we do. We are Carmichael, and we welcome all our community. And so we say welcome, welcome, welcome to all.
Also celebrating the holiday with residents, Senator the Honorable Quentin Lightbourne, who thanked organizers, noting the importance of engaging the community in various Easter activities.
Carmichael is a very diverse community in itself, and to be able to guide all the kids to come out to see all the different aspects of it, and I think that's very well. You know, the team at Carmichael at the constituency headquarters has been phenomenal. The branch chairman and all the persons have been working feverishly to get things done, and so I think it just shows of what our work we've been doing so far. This is just the beginning, and there's so much more to come in Carmichael.
And as we head into the summer months, representatives from both initiatives say that they plan to do more with the kids out of school.
And as we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On April 20th, 1965, a 564-foot bridge between Little and Great Exuma was officially opened with a 112-foot coral embankment, believed to be the first of its kind in this country. Also on this day in 1972, 41-year-old Michael Eldon was unanimously elected Bishop of the Anglican Church, becoming the first Bahamian to hold that post.
At Bank of the Bahamas, we give you lots of reasons to love your life. We offer the lowest rates in the country on debt consolidation and consumer loans. And we help you save with our low-rate switch mortgages. Need a new car? Simply apply for a BOB auto loan and hit the road.
And saving is so easy with higher interest and no monthly maintenance fees.
It's time to live and laugh again. Love the life you live with BOB, your bank of solutions.
Swim Customs Clearance Software is the trusted brand of hundreds of thriving Bahamian businesses. Expertly engineered by ISL Bahamas for seamless single window management with smart features like proration logic, designed to expedite the completion of accurate customs duty calculations. A searchable tariff index that matches each entry with its corresponding tariff code. Swim separates taxable and tax-free entries automatically and significantly refines your customs clearing experience. Brokers, importers, shippers, couriers. Are you drowning in an ocean of customs clearance mayhem? Call 356-5592 or visit islbahamas.com and start clearing customs digitally with single window management. Swim, the stress-free customs clearance software.
Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim, 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 swim.
So when you look at the complement of women that we have across the business today, they're in the commercial field, they're in the IT field, the technology field. We've been very strategic and that women had a place not only at the table, but also that different views and not just one voice is being heard to ensure that we're providing innovative and creative solutions to our customers to enable their lifestyle to be even more seamless as we go forward.
Well, the bull segment of the Carifta Swimming Championships coming to a close last night in Barbados. Amajal Knowles with the recap.
As if it was ever in doubt after 4 days of competition, after the points had been tallied and the medals had been counted, Bahamas Aquatics would make history, securing the 35th Carifta Swimming Championships and becoming the first country to four-peat as Carifta Swim Champs. A look at the Day 4 results.
Starting things off for the Bombers in Day 4 would be William Farrington, who would take a silver in the boys 11 to 12 400-meter free and 5:46.90. Next up in the girls 13 to 14 400-meter free, Mia Patton would take gold in 5:43.75. Next would be Celeste Gibson in the girls 11 to 12 50-meter free, who would take bronze in 29.17. Also taking boys in the boys 13 to 14 50-meter free would be Caleb Ferguson in a time of 25.26, and in the boys 15 to 17 50-meter free, Marvin Johnson, he would tie with Trinidadian swimmer Nikolai Blackman in 23.31 to take the gold in that event. Over in the boys 13 to 14 100-meter breaststroke, Caden Wells would secure another gold. He would take first place in 108.71. Aaron Monker would take the bronze in 112.08. Over in the boys 15 to 17 100-meter breaststroke, Errol Thompson III would take silver in 107.50. Over in the girls 14 to 17 100-meter breaststroke, Renishka Gibbs would take third in a time of 1:15.08. Over in the boys 13 to 14 100-meter back, Donald Saunders would take silver in 2:24.52. Over to the relays, the girls 11 to 12 4x50 team would take gold in 1:59.68. Over in the boys 11 to 12 4x50, they would take a bronze in 2:15.35. The boys 13 to 15 would complete a sweep of the relays this weekend, taking gold in the 4x50. Next up, the girls 15 to 17 4x50 team would take silver in 1:48.39, and to close out Day 4, the boys 15 to 17 4x50 team will take silver in 1:36.81. Team Bahamas collecting 65 medals, 14 gold, 22 silver, and 29 bronze. And with it being announced that the Bahamas will host the Carifta Swimming Championships in 2024, Bahamas Aquatics officials already looking forward to the date.
Sounds good. Well, some more good news here. The 2022 Rugby Americas North 7 qualifiers will take place this coming weekend right here in the 242. This morning we are joined by Adam Waterhouse and Justin Lewis, who will talk more about the event. Welcome to the morning edition, guys.
Thanks for having us on.
Good morning.
I know you've been the coordinator here locally. Tell us, how did this tournament originate here in the Bahamas?
It started as many things doing in the Bahamas. We had to have a bid for the competition. So we're very pleased to be hosting these Commonwealth Games and Rugby World Cup qualifiers.
How was the process to get in getting things underway and making sure that we have a good tournament this coming weekend?
There's been a lot of organisation, a lot of things going on behind the scenes, from having to move the goalpost from the multi-purpose field at the National Stadium. This is the first time they've ever been put onto the main stage in the National Stadium, to lots of logistics for transport. We've got 20 teams coming, 6 women's teams, 15 men's teams. We're looking forward to and very excited for an excellent tournament of Rugby Sevens coming up.
And tell us something about some of these teams that will be taking part.
We've got a lot of teams taking part. We've just got to wait for the confirmation of the groups. We believe we're going to be playing Mexico, Cayman, and Turks and Caicos. Our preparation's coming strong. Got the captain here with me, Justin Lewis. He can probably tell you a little bit more about the preparation. But before we get to Justin, teams are playing for the right to secure a bid at the World Cup. How many spots are up for grab and how would that be decided? For these ranked qualifiers, there's 2 spots up for grabs. Canada have already qualified for the Commonwealth Games, so there's only 1 spot left for the Commonwealth Games, and there's 2 spots up for grab for the Rugby World Cup. And Justin, you are the captain of Team Bahamas. It's a major regional tournament with a lot of on the line. How's practices been going?
Actually, practice has been going excellent. Even though we're split between 2 different islands, Freeport and here in Nassau, we have a lot of young boys who've been very dedicated to playing for the national team, work hard to get where we are. We're looking good moving into the tournament this weekend.
An expectation for the first time playing in the National Stadium?
It's going to be new for a lot of the boys. Probably only 3 or 4 of us have played at the national level before. A lot of these guys have not. So still a few butterflies, but we're working that out. But the boys are very excited. With that in mind, what do you know about the competition that you'll be going up against? So Mexico's tough. They're probably one of the top Caribbean teams right now. Turks and Caicos, we haven't played them in the sevens before, but Cayman, we have a long history with Cayman. They have a solid team coming into this tournament. Well, good luck, and I know you want the Bahamian fans to come out and support, right? Yes, absolutely. As many Bahamians out there as possible support our team. Well, good luck this coming weekend with the World Rugby qualifiers. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining us in the studio this morning. Thank you. Thanks very much. Sailors will be putting on a show this weekend, not only because it will be the first regatta in 2 years, but also because they want to put on a show to show the public why sailing has been deemed the national sport. Honorable Clay Sweeting, Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, with responsibility for regattas of why this decision was made.
With such passion that these men and women demonstrate, it's little wonder why the government of the Bahamas decided to name sailing its national sport. It's already been confirmed through Cabinet, and we will continue and make a formal announcement in months to come. In the future, we hope to advance the sport even further and provide opportunities for Bahamians and Family Islanders alike.
Commodore of the National Family Island Regatta, Danny Strawn, with his push.
I don't know if there's any other event in the country that generates the kind of excitement, other than than sailing in this country, particularly when you talk about the far-flung southern islands. Great idea for the government to declare it, the national sport of the Bahamas. And sailors we've been pushing for that for years. And so finally it's here. And we as a group, collectively and collaboratively, we're going to make it work. If you call, say you're going to have track and field in Auckland, you're not going to get anybody to go down there. But if you say you're having a sailing event in Auckland, the place is going to be booked out. So that's the impact of this sport on the economy throughout the Bahamas. Sailing is what we do, and that's why I commend the government to declaring that it's the national sport.
Minister Sweeting indicating that more information will be coming out to educate persons on the sport.
The ministry has done a good job in the past, and I think that we have lost away a little bit with regattas, and we will continue to do that across the nation, though. Anything that we do as a government, if it's sailing being announced as national sport, that it would be driven by the government to help facilitate, whether it's included in schools as a curriculum, part of the curriculum, or if it's sponsoring events in the Family Island so that they can get involved as well. But nationwide, I think that you can see that people are getting involved in the sport, and we will do what we can as a ministry, work along with the Ministry of Sports to drive this.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
Well, if you're looking for something different to eat with that island flavor, then I think you may need to make a trip to Cat Island or just place that call.
It's boiled conch, lobster, herbs, seasoning, and mayo. Sometimes specialty, some persons prefer no mayo.
How long does it take to fix?
Usually about 4 hours.
The signature name is The Butlers, and it's all that.
The butler came after COVID, just being at home, having the products, so I decided to do the salad. What I do though, I make it at home and I deliver it. Usually I only do the salad on the weekend, preferably Saturday, but if you need to order through the week, you can send a message ahead of time.
So what's the secret to this tasty treat?
Actually, it's credited to my mom and dad. We did a dance night every Friday and Saturday, and the combo salad was featured at the restaurant on those days.
Like I say, I had that tasty treat, and I'm still having that taste in my mouth 2 weeks later, so it was really good.
It was?
It was really good.
And the lobster?
It reminded me of my grandmother's cooking. But so it was very good. That's the last time I had a good food, when my grandmother cooked. So it's been so long. God. My stomach has been calling. And be sure to stay tuned into the ZNS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition at 6:30 and the Bahamas tonight at 7 o'clock. And that's a wrap for us this morning for the entire news team.
Have a great morning, everybody.
Enjoy your day.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Let's Chat with Tonya Lightbourne. My guest today is Natilla Saunders. She's an entrepreneur, she's a super mom, a businesswoman, born and bred Jamaican. We're so happy to have you. I'm actually glad that Nutella carved out 2 minutes to spend with us, because anybody who knows Nutella knows that she is almost always working. She is front and center in her business. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So this is going to be, I want to say, a lively chat, because this is the first time that we've spoken on camera. I mean, we always talk off camera, right? We're always communicating, always sharing stories. Now we're going to share stories with my guests and with my audience, and yours too.
Yes.
Because at YouTube, we're in a social media generation, and so, but I think it'll be great for people to hear your story outside of the spa, and outside of them coming to see you. So now you're going to be in their phones and in their homes, etc., etc. So it's so good to have you. Let's talk about who Nutella is. The woman, the businesswoman, the friend, the mother. Let's talk about you.
Okay, so I'm the owner of Skin Solutions Day Spa and Salon. I've been in the business for about 18 years. I started at the age of 24, so that was very, very young. I'm also the mom of the beautiful Leah.
Yes.
She keeps me super busy.
Charismatic, full of energy.
Yes, full of energy. But I'm the second of 4 kids. My mom has 4 of us. I'm the only girl.
Wow.
I was born in Jamaica, and I came here at the age of about 8 or 9. So I've pretty much spent most of my life here in the Bahamas.
Okay. Do you remember your childhood in Jamaica at all?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. You know, I grew up with, when my mother moved to the Bahamas at the age of 26, she took the leap of faith and moved here to the Bahamas. She left us with our grandmother. So I spent most of those days growing up with my grandmother.
Okay.
You know, I had a simple, normal childhood.
Yeah.
You know, learning responsibilities, going to work with my grandmother. My grandmother is also an entrepreneur. And my mother. So
wow. So you couldn't escape it.
I couldn't escape it. So I've been grounded from a little kid, I was being groomed from a little kid, not knowing that one day I'll have my own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that kind of what you were inspired to do? Like, did you ever want to work for? Did you ever want to go out and get a job, or did you always say, "Okay, Grammy did it, Mommy did it, I'm gonna do it as well"?
Actually, my career choice was not to be a skincare specialist initially. I actually wanted to be a lawyer.
Really?
Yes. So, you know, I thought about it, going off to college, all of those stuff. But my real passion is actually skincare. So once I realized what my passion was, I definitely went for it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be an attorney. I went to COB, well, COB at the time.
Well, UB now.
Yeah, I went to COB. You know, definitely didn't... whatever I was studying, I realized that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I developed an early passion for skincare. And... you know, I came across a quote one time that says, find your passion and let it pay your bills. So that's exactly what I did. I don't know if I told you that my mom is also an entrepreneur. So she basically paved the way for me to be where I am right now. Yeah, so it's been a long journey, an interesting story, actually. How I got started in my skincare industry, in the skincare industry, is my mom. She always took very good care of her skin, and so I used to go in her room. You know, she always I guess she took pride in the products that she used. So she used to use like the fashion fair products, all the stuff from Mademoiselle. If you remember Mademoiselle from back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was like one of their biggest customers. So I used to use her stuff. And of course, she used to be upset because these things are very expensive.
Yes.
So of course, I got into a lot of trouble, got some cut hip for using her expensive stuff. So what she did when she realized that she couldn't beat that passion out of me, she actually went and she purchased a book with natural skincare remedies. So instead of being in her room using her products, I was in the kitchen making my own concoction. So that's how I started on my journey of being a skincare professional.
And did you actually make things?
I did.
Really?
Anybody who knows me from high school know that I used to gather all the girls and we used to go to the bathroom. I made stuff like avocado mask.
From high school?
From high school.
Wow.
So instead of going out playing,
or partying,
or having little girl shots, we
Yeah.
would be in the bathroom putting on our little masks, and I'm educating them about skincare. I remember one of my friends, he was the only boy in my classroom, and he said, "Natilla, you have such a natural knack for this. You should really consider becoming a skincare specialist." And from that day, the rest is history.
That was it. Wow.
Yep. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, my mom as well, because I grew up in a single parent home. And so it was my mom, after she left Jamaica, my dad was left behind. And so she worked hard. She was so supportive of our dreams. And once she realized that I had a passion for it, she was able to assist me with, sending me off to college to pursue my dreams. And even the birth of Skin Solutions, it was because of her encouragement, because she believed in me.
Yes.
She helped to make a little seed.
Yeah.
And so I started Skin Solutions inside of my mother's TV room.
Wow.
Yeah, so I started from very, very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
I started in my mother's TV room. I used to have one client per week.
Yeah.
So I
they were
literally
coming in.
Yes, I literally grew the business from scratch. Yeah, I
Wow.
literally grew Skin Solutions from scratch. So Skin Solutions started when I was 24. So like I said, I never worked for anybody in the skincare industry. I started my own business right in Mommy's TV room. And 2 years later, with the money that I accumulated, I built, we had a gazebo.
Yeah.
And so we transformed the gazebo into a little skincare office. And so I had a tiny little office.
Where you
very
did your
tiny.
consultations,
Where I did my
facials.
consultations, my treatments, and everything. But I always had such a passion for my business. So I always tell people it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Absolutely.
And so I started from really humble beginnings, having like 1 or 2 clients per week. I could remember working like a full day, my first day working a full day and having like clients coming in. So it took a while.
Wow.
Like the journey was not easy.
No.
But I remained, consistent because I loved it, because it didn't feel like work. It just was my passion, just pursuing my passion.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's how it all started.
Wow. So you made your passion your paycheck.
Yes, definitely. And I continue to do so up to this day.
Yeah. No, I definitely know that people can sense your passion almost from just conversing with you. They're probably like, I need to go and see her. Or seeing you speak, or maybe they see something on social media. It's like sponsored content, and they're like, "She sounds like she knows what she's talking about.
Thank
I
you.
need to go make an
Thank you.
appointment to see her." Or just even photos or something that you may have said. Even this interview is probably gonna. I'm sure it will. We're speaking that people are gonna just like they're gonna understand what you're saying, and they're gonna grasp it, and it'll be like. That I need to start.
So I would advise anybody, like if you want to start something, no matter what it is, just go.
Do it.
Do it, because once you have that passion and that determination, you would soar.
The limit.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. And you have to keep reinventing yourself, because that's what I did. Because there was a point where I got a little bit bored, but not bored whereas I wanted to make change or deviate from what I'm doing. But you have to keep building. You have to keep getting, being innovative and get creative, because that's how you grow.
And keeping up with what's happening
The
in your
latest
industry.
trends. Yeah. And sometimes the latest trend isn't necessarily what you are supposed to do. So you just have to make sure that whatever the core of your business is, you stick to that, and then you can, grow.
And then you go from there.
You don't have to follow what everybody
No,
does.
because we're not about that.
Exactly.
Which is kind of the opposite of what an entrepreneur is. Because if you're following what everybody is doing.
Exactly. And you have to be creative, obviously.
Yeah.
You have to be creative, but you have to keep reinventing yourself. Keep reinventing yourself.
So with that being said, is that something that you have passed on to Leah? Leah is Leah is Natilla's daughter, by the way. We totally jumped into entrepreneurship, but is that something that you have passed on to her, or that you feel like you're passing on to her?
I think so, because I'm creative by nature, and she's extremely creative. She's into arts. She likes to do DIY projects, and remember, that's how I started.
Yes.
I started making my own little concoctions.
Whipping up the avocado
right.
masks.
So now, she's into making. I call her a little at-home chemist, a chemist in the making. But she's into like bath bombs and. We make soaps as well. So she's definitely moving in that direction.
Wow.
So, I'm not going to impose my passion on her. But, basically I'm sowing the seed, whereas she can create her own path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I feel like they watch you, and they may not necessarily mimic you, but I feel like they definitely, okay, mommy's doing this. Okay, mommy has her own business. Wow, she saw that client, and that person came out happy, even if it's just a smile. They're like, oh, and she's working until this hour, or even though she works sometimes this late, tomorrow we're going to the pool.
Yes.
Or so there's good. I don't call it balance. I kind of call it harmony, right?
And another thing, what I've been noticing about her, she's into making slime, and she's talking about making slime to she's talking about business, opening her own slime shop, or she makes, what else? She's into fashion designing as well, so she'll get like an old shirt or something and cut off the sleeves, make little crop tops, and she's making it for her friends as well.
The tops that you
but
buy.
She's actually talking about getting into business. Mom, how about I open up my own slime shop? So she's getting into it, definitely.
But it's because of you.
Yes, I think so.
Wow.
I think so.
I think they see like the passion and the drive and the energy that you put into what you're doing, and so it's almost like them being in this environment and them subliminally just kind of they're kind of like, for lack of a better word, they're sucking it up.
Yes, sponges.
Yeah. So they're sponges. They literally eat it, they breathe it, they see it. There are examples all around of it. They hear you on phone calls. They, and so subliminally, like, it starts to happen. Even if it's not in skincare, it could be in other industries. But at the core of it, I can see myself doing this. Well, mommy did it well, and I remember when mommy did this, and that's a good example. So
Yeah.
So Leah is 7.
She's 7. Yes.
She's 7. What has this 7-year-old taught you about life?
Patience.
That you
patience, and also humility. Learning to apologize. To her, and that's something that I want to instill in her as well. Not being so prideful, not feeling as if you're so arrogant, whereas you cannot come down and say, what, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that is something that's something that that I try to instill in her. So, and she's very expressive as well. I believe in making sure that she has her own voice, that she's not afraid to speak
and
up.
that she's heard.
And so but what I try to create is balance with her, because she can be a bit a little passionate, and she can get really angry. And one of the things that I try to drive home is, you can be angry, but there's no excuse for being rude. You can express yourself, but you don't have to be rude. And so she is now getting in the habit of, if I offend her, she comes to me, Mommy, what you did, it hurt my feelings. I'm hurt. And I then in turn say, baby, I'm sorry. Because, an apology, a genuine apology, is so healing.
Yes.
It's very healing. So I strongly believe in making sure that while I'm creating balance, that she is humble as well. And she can come back and say, Mom, I am sorry.
That is, I want to say, like, our parents, of course, they were well intentioned, but that's not the way that we were brought up.
No. You mad? You're getting boxed down.
Yeah, that's it. And don't backtalk me.
Don't backtalk me. And
what has
so-
hurt your feelings? I don't
exactly.
think so. And
I
it's a
pay all the
different time.
bills.
Yeah.
I pay all the bills. What you mean? You hurt. So,
Yeah.
you know, it has been. It does definitely has impacted us or affected us as adults, because sometimes we find ourselves in situations and we don't know how to talk. You know, we don't know how to express ourselves. So that's something that I definitely don't. I want to like.
Yeah, change that
For her.
Yeah.
Change her dynamic. You can speak, you can express yourself, but you want to make sure you express yourself respectfully.
Yeah,
you know.
sure.
But there's nothing wrong with being upset. You know, speak your mind, but make sure you're respectful.
Yeah.
But, you know, back in the day, you try to talk to mommy about that, child, please.
I mean, I finished with that. So, what do you...
Yeah, so that's not something that I want to continue. I want to end that cycle
No,
right
and
now.
when you know better, you do better.
Right.
Yeah, and you want them to know, like, because you're busy, meaning, you know, work has you consume, your passion has you consume.
Right.
So when you are able to spend some time with them, when you are able to, you know, create or continue that relationship with them, it's like, okay, I want to show her that, yes, I'm passionate about what I'm doing, but I'm also a mom, and I will discipline you, but...
I do discipline her now.
Yeah.
But not the old-fashioned way.
No. And like I said, like when you know better, you do better. And I feel like with the way things have changed so much, you definitely want to make sure, like, you're doing your best where your kids are concerned. You make sure they feel, you know, like they feel like they are seen, heard. Yes, she's my mom, but to a certain extent, like, you know, she's my friend. I can go to her. I can talk to her about anything.
Exactly.
More so that, not necessarily a friend, but that I can talk to her about anything.
Just make sure that their feelings are validated.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to validate it outside of...
Exactly. I don't want
It
somebody
should-
else to validate it.
It should be there, because that leads to problems.
Yes.
It should be validated at home at first.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's definitely a good thing. Let's see. What else do I want to ask you about Leia? All right. What I should ask you is, what was your relationship with your mom like? Or what is your relationship with your mom
we are
like?
very close.
Yeah.
We
She's
talk
your best
every
friend.
single day. Yes. And it's the same thing with Leia, you know, but my mom and I are extremely close, so you can't get between us.
No.
Yeah.
And Nutella recently did a photo shoot. Oh my goodness. Wearing all Bahama handprints, I must say.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Beautiful. I love it.
And like the photos are so gorgeous. They are gorgeous. I think we're going to use one of them for our parenting tips, and maybe even like for a headshot.
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to show that, because especially your photo with Leia, and your...
Thank you.
So gorgeous.
I love it.
So gorgeous. And the fact that your mom was in it.
And you can see, you
can see through the... I mean, I
no,
feel
you
like...
weren't there, but we have such an amazing relationship.
Yeah, but I feel like through great photos, you can... Great photos make you feel something.
the energy.
And
yeah.
you can see... Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
So touching.
Yes.
But they
Mommy
were amazing.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that as a business owner, like, you tend to run things by her? Not necessarily the ins and outs, but more so... Mommy, I want to know what you think about this, or this is something that was happening, whether she gives her advice or not.
Definitely. Mommy knows everything that goes on in Skin Solutions. She knows everything.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. She's been, like I said, my inspiration. She's been the one who sowed that seed. So obviously, if there's something that I need help with, I would go to her, you know, and she's an old-fashioned businesswoman. So the way how we do things are different, but then I still go to her. Yes, at the core of it, you know, she's definitely a smart businesswoman. So I've learned so many things from her. And so, of course, I trust her advice. So if I have an issue, if I'm thinking about something, if I'm maybe second guessing myself, I will go to her, and she's always very supportive, always there with a word of encouragement. And, you know, even if she's unsure, she's still... encourages me. She's very supportive.
Right.
Yeah.
So whether she agrees with you or not, she would still provide like advice that's not necessarily, it may not be for you, but at the end of the day, she's still.
And she's like my, she's like an advisor. Like sometimes I'm going through certain things, and, sometimes you're upset about one or two things, and you might want to make an emotional decision. So she's always there to keep me grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, calm down.
Yeah.
breathe.
Yeah.
First of all.
Slow your roll.
It's going to be okay.
Yes.
If it doesn't matter in 5 minutes, it won't matter in 5 months. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
Yeah, so she's there to give like you know, she's what's the word? Like basically like for lack of a better word, my advisor.
Yeah,
You know? So
I want to say like they
the
provide
voice of reason.
right?
Yes,
a
the voice of reason.
realistic approach
Yes.
to this.
Mhm.
Like, are you really gonna knock them
Yeah,
out?
now think about it.
Yeah,
You know?
calm down. It's gonna be okay.
Yes.
What is it that you really want to say?
Mhm.
What is it that you really want to do? Do you really want to go to that extent?
Exactly.
Or do you want to just take a minute, sleep on it, and then revisit it?
Definitely.
In the morning? 'Cause
Yeah,
you'll feel totally
definitely.
different.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agent, before we send you out in the world, we must make sure that your mission is intact. Yes, Mom! Agent 1, what is a touch? Physical contact, Mom. Agent 2, what is a good touch? Touches that make you feel alright, Mom. Such as? A high five, a handshake, even a kiss, Mom. Good. Now, Agent 3, what is a bad touch? Touches that make you feel not so good, Mom. Like a slap, a kick, a pinch. And most important, if someone touches your private parts. And what do we do when someone gives us a bad touch? You tell a trusted adult, Mom. For help, Mom. Tell them, don't do that, Mom. Agent, I see that you understand. Now it's your mission to spread this information. Just remember that good touches are okay. And bad touches are not okay. So, Agent, go spread the word. Yes, Mom.
It's important to unplug, take care of yourself, and that way you could be a great mom.
Yeah. And how do you unplug? I know you didn't see that coming. How do you unplug?
Oh boy, I don't want to sound like a nerd or anything, right? But Leia's father and I, we co-parent, and we co-parent very well.
Yeah.
And so on the days when she visits him, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm wondering if it's a 40s thing or, you know.
Wait, I didn't even know what you want to say yet,
I value my alone time. So my time when she's away with her dad, I just go home and I relax. So my typically what I do for my me time.
She's gonna find it right now.
I would.
She's gonna be like, "Oh, that's what you be doing."
Typically, I'll after work, I'll order sushi. It's like a celebration. Honestly, I love you, Leia. Right? It's a celebration. So I'll order sushi, get a bottle of wine.
Oh.
I go home and I relax.
And that's to Netflix. Nobody's asking me for something.
No, and usually usually at that time the house is immaculate. Yeah. So I go home and I relax and I watch Smallville. That's super bad.
What? But you know what? This is what makes you happy.
Listen, I've been so obsessed with Smallville.
So you've been binge watching
I've been binge watching Smallville. Seriously.
That's what we did during the pandemic.
Listen, I've been binge watching Smallville, and that is my way of having some me time. I mean, of course, you know, I own the spa, so I get my manicures, and so it's
but
it's not necessarily a treat, if you know what I mean, because that is my workplace. But my idea of my me time, when I unplug, is just alone time. Honestly, I value that so much. It's incredible.
I can't imagine that. Because, I mean, again, like you said, the business is yours. So it's not, I mean, you might be sitting and getting a manicure, but you're looking over to see what the next client is doing.
Or I'm in my laptop, I'm still working
you're
or
ordering
whatever.
stuff.
So, yes.
You're thinking about the next move.
But, you know, I do take time off, but, you know, as a business owner, you know, I'm still working.
You're
so
always,
I have I have to be intentional in terms of taking time because it's so important for me to just regroup and you know, rethink things. So I need that alone time to unplug. So I'll just Turn off everything, order some sushi, pour some wine, even put on a mask or something like that, watch some Smallville.
Yeah.
And that's me. And then, that is short-lived, of course, because it's not like I have the entire week off, but I just embrace those quiet moments just to get away from everything. And then, of course, the madness continues again. But I love it.
Yeah, yeah. I think I experienced that recently when Riley went to school. So initially she did 2 days, and now she's up to 4.
Yeah.
And it's only half days.
Okay.
But the first day so this was, they go in phases. So they're screaming, and then it kind of comes down to, okay, maybe a little bit of crying. But every time it's like, okay, bye. And the first day that usually I would stay in the area just to make sure, like, if anything happens, I could just run there, right? The first day I came home, when I felt like she was comfortable enough, I came home and there was silence. I haven't experienced that in 2 years.
Listen, that's amazing. That's the most beautiful sound. That is the most beautiful sound.
If silence had a sound.
Trust me, that's the most beautiful sound.
I couldn't believe it.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, this is the point where we've reached success.
Listen, I was so happy when she went back to school.
Oh, don't talk about that.
Last March was
interesting.
Interesting, to say the very least.
Yes.
It was just a lot, business was shut down.
So you're wondering what's going to happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to be maybe for 2 weeks.
No.
But I had no idea it was going to be 3 weeks.
I don't think anybody knew.
And, on top of it, you're home, you're dealing with everything, this, the uncertainty of everything. And then you're schooling them.
Yeah.
You're not trained to be a teacher,
and
but you're schooling the kids. So I remember when September came and I was like, listen, these kids better go back to school. And it wasn't looking good. And I was so happy when Meridian sent that email. School would be in session face to face. I was like, thank you, God.
Yeah. Because on one hand, you're like, I'm sending my child back to school and I don't know who has COVID and what's the probability that the kids are going to get anything. You're thinking way ahead. And on the other hand, the schools are like, okay, we got this. These are the protocols we put in place, like that sort of thing.
I was happy. Yeah. I know some parents were like, you feel comfortable sending your daughter back to there? Yes. The protocols, once everything was in place, I was at ease. But that was such a time when it was, it was a lot. Honestly, it was tough because you're worried about business. You're trying to teach. You're stepping into some kind of a different realm, that you're not accustomed to. So it was a difficult time, but but God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 things. What advice would you give your younger self at say 35? You had Leah when you in your early 30s.
Yeah.
And so let's say in your late 20s, what advice would you give your younger self?
Learn to accept the things that I couldn't change. Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah. And I learned to accept the things you couldn't change because I used to worry about stuff. I'm a perfectionist by nature.
Recovering.
And so, yes, I'm a recovering one. So I used to beat myself up and I used to worry a lot, and I've learned to just accept the things you cannot change and don't stress.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow is another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow is another day. And so that's what I've been doing now. Like, I stop stressing myself, but if I can't get something done, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make bed.
Yeah.
Like, I honor my feelings. So I believe in honoring my feelings. And if it's something that I cannot change, I know that time will heal and time will change all things,
That is a word.
I used to stress myself out a lot, but I don't anymore.
And you're at peace.
I'm at peace. And, things that happened over the past few years have shaped me, have changed me in so many ways. I've had to learn to be more in control of my emotions as well, not to make emotional decisions.
Yeah.
So I've grown so much over the last
So the
few
person
years.
in 2017 is not the same person today, okay?
Oh no. This is a different woman. So, there are different stages in your life where you you change, you grow. Like you can actually feel it. You can see it.
You can feel yourself growing.
Your lease on life changes. So I believe, the way how I used to think back in my 20s, definitely has changed.
Yeah.
The way how I used to think back in 2017 or before that, it has changed so much.
Yeah.
It has changed so much.
And we celebrate those things.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
The milestones, the growth. My mom always used to tell me I have a don't care attitude, but it's not that. It's just that I don't believe in stressing myself out over things that I cannot change. But yes, without going into too much details, like I've grown so much as a person, and I'm thankful for the experiences.
Yeah. Amazing. And lastly, what will you never take for granted again?
I will never take for granted. I will never take for granted. I can't even think about that right now.
That's okay. Some people say traveling. Some people say human interaction.
I will never take for granted. I can't even think about that right now. I'm sorry.
Some people say human interaction. Some people say traveling. Some people say the ability to just make my own decisions. The ability to not wear a mask. Like, I hope in the studio somebody deep sigh. It's a lot.
Yeah, I'll never take for granted. Just life on the whole. You threw me off a while ago because I don't. I experienced the loss of an amazing employee.
Yes.
And one of the things that the last word I said to her was, "I love you." And I'm so happy that those were my last words to her. So I will never take for granted anybody, any relationship, any opportunity to, just let the person know how I feel. If I've hurt you before, I would never take for granted that we have time, and time is here to stay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you never know when is your last opportunity to say, I am sorry, or I love you. Yes. You have me emotional right now.
I know, but you're doing good. You're doing really, really good.
Yeah, so I'll never take anybody for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never take anybody for granted. So, yeah.
Thank you, guys. This is great.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good. Thank you guys for joining us for this Natilla. I'm so happy that you and Leah joined us on set. She was such a great sport. Thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We will see you on the next edition of Let's Chat with Tonya Lightbourne. Take care.
Bye.
You did great. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, you made it to the end of our video. If you'd like to reach out, email us at letschat@TonyaWilliamsLightbourne.com. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more exciting sessions. Cheers.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
I got my $1.25 headed out the house. I flag it down, then I take a seat on the bus. The driver turned around and asked me if I want to make bucks. See my seat, no way dad broke, so I must be in luck. Hey, could be me, could be you. On Jitney, 242. Could be me, could be you. On Jitney, 242. Could be me, could be you. On Jitney, 242. Could be me, could be you. On Jitney, 242.
music producer and recording artist Katya joins us next time on Journey TV. Katya shares her journey of healing and self-discovery, which gave her the tools to thrive through anxiety and the courage to share her music with the world. Don't you miss this inspiring story. Tune in Thursdays at 8 p.m. on ZNS. Journey TV, we share life's truths.
Andros is the #1 bone fishing destination on our planet. Sports fishermen visit our flats every year to participate in one of the most fulfilling outdoor activities known to man, fly fishing. And guess what? It's 100% sustainable. Without areas like the west side of Andros, sustaining this industry would be absolutely impossible. So let's take care of nature, and nature will take care of us.
All right. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great, man. What's your name?
Christoph.
Christoph? What's your last name?
Strong.
Excellent. And you are on Jitney 242. Why don't you look in that camera right there and say, my name is, whatever your name is.
My name is Christoph, and I'm on Jitney 242.
Oh, for sure. Now tell me, how did you hear about Jitney 242?
Well, I grew up with my Grammy, so I was like old people children. So I watched ZNS a lot.
Right.
So I just saw it, and I was like, what is this? Well, honestly, my first thought was, what this garbage ZNS trying to promote now? But I watch it, and it's nice. It's not. It's nice.
Look at the camera and say, listen, did I say garbage?
Did I say garbage? I apologize.
Very good. There we go. All right, now, tell me two or three things you like about the show.
Well, it's like Cash Cab. It used to come on Discovery Channel.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting because I used to like to watch that. I like trivia shows, and I just like reading random stuff. Always find me online, clicking.
All right.
And, yeah.
All right, so the show is educational.
Yeah.
So say Jitney 242 is educational and entertaining.
Jitney 242 is educational and entertaining.
All right, now, so you ready to win some money?
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Now, you know how the game works, right?
Yeah.
Your first question, my friend. What major island or island group is Jolter's Key closest to? Would it be A, Spanish Wells, B, Long Island, C, Andros, or D, Abaco?
Jolter's Key, I believe, is the Abacos.
Believe the Abacos?
Yeah.
What did you believe? Now, what will you say?
Abaco.
You're going to say Abaco. D, Abaco, final answer. Right?
Yeah.
Excellent. And you have, my friend, your first X. I congratulate you. All righty. All right, now, you got the first question wrong. So for that, I'm going to give you something to help you out. This is called Vitamalt Light. I call it the IntelliJuice. All right? So once you take a sip of this, I guarantee every question you get from now on, you'll be right. Give me that drink, man. Let me help you out. I will drink it for you. I have a feeling you get the next question right. How about that? All right, next question. Until the mid-1920s, today's San Salvador Island was known by another name. What is that name? Would it be A, Cat Island, B, Guanahani, C, Guanama, or D, Watlings Island?
Watlings Island.
Do you see how this Vitamalt Light works, the IntelliJuice? Because that answer is 100% correct, my friend. Now you're moving on. You're now in the winning. Hold up for me. Right, excellent. You're now in the winning category. Now, third question. What was the previous brand name of the Nissan Automotive Corporation? Would it have been A, Datsun, B, Toyota, C, Mitsubishi, or D, Hyundai?
I'm going to go with A. I believe it's A, Datsun.
A, Datsun.
Yeah.
The IntelliJuice is working, my friend. You're absolutely right. All right. Here's your fourth question. Insuperable means impossible to A, overcome, B, believe, C, explain, or D, understand.
I should know this. I did SAT English in high school. I think it's either believe. I'll 50-50.
You want 50-50?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take away two of the wrong answers, okay? I'll take away C and D.
All right, let's go with believe.
You go with believe?
Yeah.
Now, Julian, Believe sang a song called Believe. But I don't believe you're right at this time. Correct answer, my friend, is overcome. Okay? It's superable. Look at the camera and said, I now know what insuperable means.
I now remember what insuperable means.
All right. We are third of the way through. 8 more questions. All right, are you ready for the question now?
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Robert Atkins, who died in 2003, weighing 260 pounds, was noted for what? Would it be A, Atkins powder, B, Atkins diet, C, Atkins cream, or D, Atkins building?
I want to use the other lifeline.
Use other lifeline?
Yeah.
You want to phone a friend?
Yeah.
Who are we going to call?
My mom.
Calling mom. All right, mom should know.
Hello.
Yes, good morning, Sharon.
Hello.
Good morning. May I speak to Sharon, please?
This is Sharon.
How are you this morning?
I'm good, thanks.
Great. My name is Jacozy. I am the host of Jitney 242. And I have here with me a young man that I think you know very well. His name is Christophe.
Yes, I'm kind of familiar with him.
You're kind of familiar with him, huh? Okay, wonderful. Now, he is stuck on a question and he needs your help.
Okay.
So he said you would know the answer.
Oh, God. Okay, let's see.
All right, here's the question. Dr. Robert Atkins, who died in 2003 weighing 260 pounds, was noted for what? Would it be A, Atkins powder, B, Atkins diet, C, Atkins cream, or D, Atkins building?
Okay. Did you say Atkins diet?
Yes, I did say that. I also said Atkins powder, Atkins cream, and Atkins building.
By giving unconditionally, not expecting anything in return, I thought was a wonderful way of showing this love, and I believe that it is love that truly draws people, and so I thought we could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold.
My passion is to help, and I thank God for what I can do through the help of Bahamas Feeding Network.
Physical distancing isn't the same as being socially distant. I know that sometimes it can be a bit difficult not being able to engage in the in-person social activities that we did before, whether that be going to the movies or just hanging out in person. But remember that different does not mean distant. As the generation of technology, we can get creative in planning virtual parties with friends and family, play online games with friends, plan virtual family parties, start a cooking competition among cousins, or do a virtual dance party. If you do gather in person, however, remember to avoid gathering in large groups. Always ensure that you wear your mask to cover your mouth and nose. And remember, wash and sanitize your hands often.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me. From the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
If you said Atkins diet?
Yes.
as one of the answers,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to go with that.
You're going to go Atkins style. Okay. You take that. Would you accept that answer, sir?
This is the only answer she put forth.
All right. So he's going to go with that. And, madam, you are absolutely right. You've helped him win some money here on Jitney 242. Make sure he gives you some of the prize money if he wins, all right?
I love you, Crystal! All right.
All right, wonderful. That was the right answer. So it was a good call using Mom. Mom sure helped you out. All right, let's go to the next question. What is the main metallic element in the core of the moon? I know you've been there, so you should be able to answer this question correctly. Would it be A, zinc, B, iron, C, copper, or D, gold?
I honestly don't know.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not.
No, I learned this, actually.
So you do know, you just don't remember.
It's zinc.
15 seconds.
Just say zinc.
You're going to say zinc?
Yeah.
You look at the camera and you say zinc.
Zinc.
Good. A, zinc, final answer, right?
Yeah.
Good. And that is wrong again. The correct answer, my friend, would have been B, iron. Tingling. That is 3 strikes. Say 3. Look at the camera and say 3. Which means I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
So Jitney 242.
Jitney 242.
It has been good.
It has been good.
Bye.
Bye.
Good. All right. You did well, though, brother. You did well.
Oh, I did awful.
Huh?
I did awfully.
Well, I didn't want to say that. It's not expedient for me to say.
I'm an honest person.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously not. You just lied to me on national TV.
I'm political. I have political aspirations. Okay, Jitney 242 has taken to the streets, and we are here in front of one of our sponsors, the Island Game. Oh, for sure. That's right. And we have here a new contestant. What's your name, sir?
Raheem.
Raheem. Raheem. Can you spell that for me, please?
R-A-H-E-E-M.
All right, good. Since you know the answer to that question, that's your first question you got right. You don't win any money for that, but we just want to make sure you know how to answer a question once one is posed to you. All right, now, rules of the game are pretty simple. I'm going to ask you some questions. For every question you get right, you win money. Okay? You get it wrong, I give you a strike. 3 strikes against you, and you are O-U-T. Like how we are outside, you will be out. Out of the bus. Out, you remain outside. All right? How about out my show? Yeah, how about that? That works, right? Now, you have 2 lifelines available to you. The first one, courtesy of BTC, is the mobile shout-out, where you phone a friend of your choosing, and they can help you come up with the right answer. The second lifeline would be 50-50, courtesy of BAF Financial. All right? Are you ready for the question? You ready? Let's rock and roll. All right, the first question is, bratwurst. Bratwurst is a German food made mainly of what? Would it be A, cabbage, B, potato, C, fish, or D, meat?
I'm gonna guess potato.
Yeah, potato. Potato. Potato, potato. Tomato, tomato. Yeah, you know about that? Yeah, you know about that, right? Yeah. But you don't know about meat. That's what it is. That's the answer is meat. Yeah, you get that one. That's 1 strike against you. 1 strike. Look in the camera and say, I got 1 strike against you.
I get 1 strike against me.
Oh, sure. All right. Not to worry, man. Remember now, you have 2 lifelines. Okay? 2 more strikes available. Here we go. Second question.
Colon cancer is the 3rd most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low fiber, high fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer by making specific lifestyle changes. Eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods contain fiber, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, which may play a role in cancer prevention. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Do not smoke. Exercise with a goal of getting in at least 30 minutes each day. If you've been inactive, start slowly and gradually build up to 30 minutes. Also, talk to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Maintain a healthy weight. If you're at a healthy weight, maintain it by combining a well-balanced diet with daily exercise. If you need to lose weight, ask your doctor about healthy ways to achieve your goal. Colon cancer screening can also help to prevent colon cancer or lead to its early detection when treatment is most effective. If you're 45 years or older, speak to your doctor about having a colonoscopy or some form of colon cancer screening that may be appropriate for you. I'm Dr. Eugene Marcus Cooper. Pay attention to your health. Get the facts and discuss colon cancer with your physician today.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
I want y'all to picture your parents them over there watching you. You want gangbang?
It's back.
You're here because your parents decided to put you in here.
The groundbreaking reality series returns.
You never met me before? Did Louisiana hit me?
Do you know it's still time to get it together?
With never before seen footage.
Come punch me then. Send you to punch me. You punch me?
This ain't no playground. You're gonna know before you leave today. If you leave, if they find some space, I can teach you all how to disrespect.
It's a whole new season.
Don't come here with your movie face, because I ain't buying it.
Watch their transformation.
It bears to be a winner. It bears to be a winner. Teamwork. You are a unit. You moving as one.
So why you doing what you do? The Ministry of National Security and the ZNS Network presents Shark Treatment. A whole new season coming soon.
Now, my brother, you didn't get that question right, but we have something for you. We have what I call the IntelliJuice. This is the juice that gets your intelligence flowing through the brain. Just take a sip of that, yeah? I guarantee you get the next question right. Guaranteed. All right? All right. Now, the first regular airplane service to the Bahamas was owned by what company? Would it be A, Eastern Airlines, B, Pan American Airways, C, Delta Airlines, or D, United Airlines?
I'd say A.
Say A.
C, Delta.
You say C, Delta. Voice one.
Yeah, C.
Final answer.
Delta, yeah.
C, Delta, final answer. Okay, drink that juice again. Because you didn't take a big sip, good enough sip first time. Drink some more of that juice. I need the juice to flow. You just said, you're a good girlfriend, eh? Huh? Good. Yeah. Now, see, now you're on point now. The answer is wrong. Correct answer was Pan American Airways. Did you and TV Land know that answer? Did you? Did you? Really? Okay. All right. Third question, sir. What major island or island group is Great Stirrup Key closest to? Would it be A, Inagua, B, Harbour Island, C, Royal Island, or D, Berry Island?
B, Harbour Island.
Final answer? You don't want to do a 50-50 or phone a friend? So let me tell you why. Huh? This is very critical right here. There's two things right on this. One, this is your third possible strike if the answer is wrong. I'm not saying Harbour Island is wrong. The other thing is, you just drink some of that IntelliJuice by Vitamalt, and I can't afford you to take a chance and that answer be wrong, because I made this IntelliJuice don't work. All right, so you want to do 50-50?
I'll do it 50-50.
Very good, so I'll take away two of the wrong answers. I will take away A and C. Stick B, Harbour Island. Very good, sir. Very good. Very good. And what I want you to do you see that sign over there? What does it say?
Which one?
The one on top. Good. Walk towards the sign. Yeah, just walk towards the sign. Keep going. Just tell us bye. Because you are off my show. That's right. 3 strikes, you are out. O-U-T, out. Thanks for playing. Man, listen. Oh, Lord, I wrong for that. Lord, pray for me. Oh, in the name of the Father. Good. Thank you, Jesus. Next question, please. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and you?
Excellent. What is your name?
Rosalie.
Rosalie. Rosalie, where are you going to today?
Well,
I'm going home.
Going home? And where is home exactly?
Home is not far from here.
All right. Where would your bus stop end? You say bus stop at what time?
Superwash on Robinson Road.
Superwash, Robinson Road. That's where we're going to today. All right. Wonderful. All right. So your final destination is Superwash, Robinson Road.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Now, you feel like winning some money today?
Sure.
You do? Mm-hmm. Look in the camera and say, I want to win some money on
I
Jitney
want to win some money on Jitney 242.
Oh, yes. Now, have you ever watched the show before?
Yes.
You like the show?
Yes.
What you like about the show? That's what you like about the show?
No. Oh.
I know one thing. You like smile. That's a good thing. All right. All right. Your first question is, rust on metal is caused by the action of, would it be A, salt and hydrogen, B, heat and moisture, C, salt and moisture, or D, moisture and oxygen? Options are right there.
Rust on metal
is caused by what? Would it be A, salt and hydrogen, B, heat and moisture, C, salt and moisture, or D, moisture and oxygen?
I'll say A.
You say A. Final answer?
Yeah, final.
All right, final answer. All right. And are you thirsty?
Yes.
Because it's hot out there. Good, I'm glad you're thirsty because what I'm going to do for you right now is give you the vitamin of light, the IntelliJuice. Are you ready for the IntelliJuice? You drink that, that's going to get those intellectual juices flowing, and hopefully you get some more of these questions right. Okay. That answer was wrong. Unfortunately, the correct answer would have been D, moisture and oxygen. Okay? Not to worry. 2 more strikes available, and you still have your 2 lifelines. Okay? Here's the question. The royal house immediately followed the reign of England's King Richard III in the 1400s. Would it be Tudor, York, Hanover, or Windsor? I'll read the question again. What royal house immediately followed the reign of England's King Richard III in the 1400s? Would it be A, Tudor, B, York, C, Hanover, or D, Windsor?
I'll take a guess and say B.
You take a guess and say B?
Yes.
All right, you guess it. Do you want to take a 50-50 and use one of your lifelines?
Probably on the next one.
Or the last one? Okay. Yeah. Okay. That, unfortunately, is the incorrect answer. The correct answer would have been Tudor. Okay? A, Tudor. Now, your next question. Jurisprudence is the theory or philosophy of what? Would it be A, medicine, B, law, C, chemistry, or D, government?
50-50.
50-50? Okay, I'll take away 2 of the wrong answers, okay? I'll take away A and D. Jurisprudence is a theory or philosophy of what? Would it be law or chemistry?
B.
B, law. Final answer. Final answer. Look in the camera and I want you to say, finally get one right.
Finally get one right.
Hallelujah. All right, you got money in your pot, darling. You still have your lifeline available to you. Here's the next question. Originally an Italian word for a public meeting room or summer house, this word now means a place to play games of chance. Would it be A, nightclub, B, tavern, C, hostelry, or D, casino?
Game of chance?
Yeah, originally an Italian word for a public meeting room or summer house, this word now means a place to play games of chance.
D?
D, casino. For a second there you look like you wanted to say carnival. That doesn't come till November. But you're absolutely right. Okay. D, casino is correct. And you have more money in your pot. Are you ready for the next question?
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go. What word refers to various peoples around the world who are born locally of foreign origin? Would it be A, migrant, B, Creole, C, refugee, or D, exile?
A, final answer.
A, final answer. And you said it with such confidence?
Yes.
All right, look into the camera. Are you looking?
Yes.
Say Jitney 242.
Jitney 242.
Is the ball.
Is the ball.
Because when you don't get it right,
because when you don't get it
we
right,
blow you out.
We blow you
Get
out
of my chair. Thank you so much for playing, darling. Good drive. These should be with a cold Vitamol. Because I know I know it hard.
Yes, it is.
All right? But I appreciate it, my dear.
Thank you.
It's been a good test, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Next time on the Jitney 242 ride, I don't know who it could be. Maybe it could be you.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
It was April 16th, 2016. An earthquake registering 7.8 magnitude on the Richter scale struck the South American nation of Ecuador. Hundreds of people died, thousands remained unaccounted for, and hundreds of thousands more are lacking life's basic necessities, especially those living in the cities of Manta and Pedernales.
No hay agua, no hay luz, no hay víveres para comer.
UNICEF está aquí apoyando en la ciudad de Pedernales en el evento del terremoto que se dio el día domingo en la noche. Ha sido muy impactante ver cómo la ciudad está destruida. Si hablamos en porcentajes, podemos decir que un 90% de la ciudad está destruida.
In these types of humanitarian emergencies, the most helpless always pay the heaviest price. Ecuadorian children are the most needy and the most vulnerable. Many are afraid and unsure of their safety amid the turmoil and chaos in the aftermath of the quake.
Hay mucha afectación en los niños tienen temor de ingresar a sus casas porque sienten que se les va a caer el techo encima y también hay mucha angustia de pensar y de ver que sus escuelas han sido destruidas totalmente. Aquí hay 15 escuelas y todas están destruidas y les preocupa mucho el no poder regresar a clases.
According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, more than 150,000 children have been affected. Now, it's a race against time to protect them from disease and starvation.
No hay carro para viajar ni por lado. Entonces, los niños, leche no hay ropa para los bebés. Se cayeron casi todas las casas aquí.
Desperate to save lives, food rations have been flown in by the World Food Programme, WFP.
The government of Ecuador, together with the Ecuadorian Army and the World Food Programme, we're trying to assist the most vulnerable areas. We're focusing now mainly in shelters and in hospitals, and we expect to reach hundreds of thousands of people. There's still so much to do.
WFP will be assisting the people of Ecuador for months to come. At least until life returns to some semblance of normalcy. This report was produced by Mary Ferreira for the United Nations.
Hi, I'm Dr. Wanda Rogers.
Hi, I'm Dr. Manish Sharma.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Johnson,
Director of Ambulatory Services at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the Director of Imaging at Doctors Hospital.
I'm a pediatrician here at Doctors Hospital.
I am vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID.
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
저의 이름은 주찬양입니다. 나이는 25살입니다. 한국 나이로.
사이즈 큰데?
Just a few years ago, Chan Yang never imagined that life would take her here, to this land of such plenty. She and her family now live in Seoul, South Korea's dynamic capital city. But they're from one of the most isolated and repressive nations on Earth, where she spent most of her childhood starving. Chan Yang grew up in North Korea, also known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or DPRK, which in the 1990s suffered an immense famine. According to United Nations estimates, up to 2 million people died of starvation.
어머니하고 아버지가 저희 배를 채워주시기 위해서 그 조금 작게 있는 나달에 쌀 이렇게 시라지라고 해가지고 야채 있잖아요. 정말 많이 섞어가지고 쌀밥은 생산도 못했고.
The tragic division of the two Koreas took place decades ago, when in 1950 the peninsula was torn apart by one of the most brutal civil wars the world has seen. The United Nations Security Council intervened, dispatching both a ceasefire order and a UN force. For 3 years, both diplomats and troops struggled to restore peace. Eventually, a 2-mile-wide buffer zone was established between the two sides. But despite the ceasefire, the two countries are technically still at war with each other. Marzuki Darazman, an independent expert, is tasked by the United Nations Human Rights Council to investigate violations of people's rights in North Korea.
This is a system that has no parallel in the modern world in terms of its hold on its own people, in terms of its massive scale of human rights violations, and in terms of its totalistic control of the very lives of its individual citizens.
Barred from entering North Korea, Mr. Darazman visits neighboring countries. Today in South Korea, he's at the Ministry of Unification, which has responsibility for reuniting the two Koreas. Then, at the UN Human Rights Office in Seoul, he meets young people. Among them is Chan Yang. Chan Yang explains how she finally escaped.
두만강을 넘을 때 저는 그 헤엄을 쳐서 넘었어요. 두만강을 일단 그렇게 넘어서 중국에 가게 됐죠.
She underwent a dangerous onward journey through Thailand, and finally, in South Korea, she was reunited with her family, who escaped separately.
오늘도 귀한 손님 두 분 함께 나와 계십니다. 주찬양 자매님.
국동방송 저는 북쪽에 있을 때 몰래 진짜 목숨을 걸고 그 자유의 목소리를 들었던 경험이 있잖아요. 그러니까 또 다른 저 같은 사람들이 고향에 있을 것이다 라는 그런 믿음으로 저도 이거를 하는 거죠.
And Mr. Darazman's priority now is to help bring those responsible for the violations to justice. The reports on his findings go to the highest level, here at the General Assembly in New York.
Mr. President, as a delegation of the country concerned, we would like once again to categorically reject the Special Rapporteur and his report on the human rights situation in the DPRK. This special rapporteur and his report constitute extreme manifestation of politicization, selectivity, and double standards.
It will take time, but it will finally reach that moment of truth, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel there.
북쪽에 계신 분들도 자유가 있고 이런 인권이 있고 삶을 포기하지 않고 하는 거를 깨닫고 우리 한민족이 지금 분단돼 있지만 다시 만나게 되는 날을 향해서 이렇게 힘내서 올 수 있도록 푸시하고 싶은 그런 마음에서 하는 것 같아요, 저는.
This report was produced by Jill Fickling for the United Nations.
Did you know that there are over 30,000 Bahamians with diabetes and another 23,000 with prediabetes? Each year, this number is expected to increase. Many people who have diabetes are unaware. If you are having blurry vision, feeling thirsty, urinating frequently, or are unusually tired or losing weight despite a healthy diet, you may have diabetes. If you have a parent or sibling that has diabetes, you are also at an increased risk of developing diabetes. If you have noticed any of these symptoms, it is important to see your doctor, who will perform the necessary tests to confirm the diagnosis. Together, we can beat diabetes.
The world loves chocolate. Each year, more than $83 billion are spent on it. The average European eats up to a kilogram of it every month. But did you ever think that your choice of chocolate could help save one of the world's most threatened environments? With hundreds of unique plant and bird species, the remote archipelago Sao Tome and Principe is one of the world's biodiversity hotspots. Located more than 230 kilometers off the West African coast, it's also one of the world's poorest countries. Farmers are clearing this unique forest for farmland.
Farmers, to make a living, are more and more exploiting available resources. Their approach at the moment is very invasive and not sustainable.
But there's one type of farming that is sustainable, both for farmers' income and for the environment: organic cocoa. This nation was once the world's largest exporter of cocoa, but in the 1990s, a global price crash destroyed the industry here. Farmers like João José almost abandoned the crop.
Antigamente, depois a gente tomou roça logo, a gente não tinha quem comprava. A gente quebra cacau no mato, às vezes punha no quintal, já destraga, a gente tem que jogar fora.
But recently, organic chocolate, cocoa beans which aren't treated with synthetic fertilizers, herbicides or pesticides, became a phenomenon and global sales doubled. The International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD, had been working in Sao Tome and Principe to revive the island's economy. And this growing demand for organic cocoa presented a whole new opportunity. So IFAD looked for a buyer who could partner with them to develop the industry. A French company called Carifta, which specializes in fair trade organic chocolate, visited this island nation and immediately saw its potential.
First of all, the quality of its cocoa, it's quite exceptional. I think also Sao Tome is, by its history, quite an interesting country to work in and to try to give confidence and dignity to the farmers again.
So Kauka and IFAD worked together to set up the first farming cooperative on the island, known as CCAB, providing members with funding and training to produce organically certified high-quality cocoa. Kauka also committed to buying all its produce. CCAB now comprises of 2,000 farming families, almost 1/5 of Sao Tome's rural population. Together, they have revived the cocoa industry.
Em 2005, foi o primeiro ano de produção. Produzimos 67 toneladas de cacau. Hoje, em 2014, nós queremos produzir 1.200 toneladas por ano.
João is a member, and he now has a guaranteed buyer who is willing to pay 40% more than the conventional market for this high-quality organic product. João's income increased by more than 20 times, improving his family's life. Fatima Horta, who manages this group of farmers, is proud of her work.
Nós dizemos pequena agricultura, mas eu sinto isso uma grande agricultura. Agricultura grande, tá vendo? Eu estou cada vez mais influindo. No meu trabalho, eu gosto daquilo que eu faço.
Now IFAD is brokering more partnerships, this time for organic pepper and coffee. In the process, new trade agreements with 5 European food companies have been secured, so farmers no longer have to destroy the forests to make a living. Global demand for organic food might have just saved this island. This report was produced by Joanne Leviton for the United Nations.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths in the Bahamas and in Bahamian women. At present, we are unable to prevent breast cancer, but performing screening mammograms can detect breast cancer at its earliest when there are no symptoms and when it is more likely to be treated successfully. All women should have a primary healthcare provider who is aware of their medical history, family history, and risk factors. Women 40 to 45 years can choose whether to start screening in consultation with their physician. All women 45 to 54 years should have an annual mammogram. Women older than 55 years can have a yearly mammogram or choose to have one every 2 years. Monthly breast self-exams in conjunction with the mammogram can increase the odds of early detection. Be proactive about your health.
French-administered Crozet Islands, a subantarctic archipelago in the southern Indian Ocean, is one of the last remaining untouched places on Earth. Today, a technical team is on a mission to prepare the installation of CTBTOs, the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization's hydroacoustic station, part of an international monitoring system.
The international monitoring system uses 4 different technologies for detecting nuclear explosions, potentially detecting nuclear explosions. These technologies are underwater hydroacoustic stations. There are 6 of these underwater listening stations, and we're moving towards installing one at the Crozet Islands.
Installing hydrophones deep in the ocean at one of the most remote places on Earth is a complex engineering feat. Used to monitor sounds within the depths of the ocean, these hydrophones send data through tens of kilometers of cables to a receiving station. From there, the data is transmitted to the CTBTO back in Vienna, Austria. The project requires high-tech equipment which was flown in so that work could begin. Jerry and a team of survey experts stay behind to undertake offshore deep water surveys.
Cables going out to north of the island, 40 to 50 kilometers, and the ship was able to run along the track along where we're going to lay the cable We need to understand the bottom profile because our cables are going to be on the bottom for over 20 years. We need to be very sure that we put them in places where they're not going to be abraded or damaged by the bottom of the sea.
The hard work pays off. On shore, the receiving station is now complete, and connection to Vienna has been established.
The monitoring system that is put in place by CTBTO isn't just applicable to total interdiction of nuclear testing. So we have a lot of whales in the Antarctic and subantarctic regions. The hydrophones will pick those up. They give us really valuable materials that enable us to do long-term studies. They will also pick up seismic movements, and for tsunami alerts, basically the CTBTO network supplies a lot of information as well.
Meanwhile, at the Marion de Frey, a 3D map of the underwater landscape is almost finished. It's a vital tool which will help the team to determine exactly where to install the hydrophones and lay the cables when they return later in the year.
So the mission's been a great success, but we have one more major job, and that's to come back in December to install the hydroacoustic station.
At this stage, Crozet will be part of the network of stations listening out for nuclear explosions across the oceans of the world. And, as a consequence, help to make the world a safer place. This report was produced by Krzysztof Kolasinski for the United Nations.
The fishing industry in the Bahamas brings in billions of dollars to the Bahamian economy annually. Behind these billions are the men and women quietly working the aquamarine waters. These fishermen depend on healthy, thriving marine environment to support their families.
I've been a fisherman from childhood. I grew up with my old man inside the boating industry.
Well, I've been a fisherman. I've been fishing different areas for about 30 years.
The Bahamas is renowned for having one of the most prosperous fishing industries in the Caribbean. Though the industry seems to be booming, fishermen are concerned about a decline in both the amount of fish and the size of fish.
Today and in the previous years, you would have to say, well, it's not the same. Say 10 years ago, fishing was very lucrative. You could have fished for 6 months. And, you come in with thousands of pounds. You could come in with 10,000 pounds. Now you come in with 3,000, 2,500 pounds. Sometimes if you have a good, you might come up with 6,000 pounds, but it's not like years ago when you come in with 14,000 pounds with lobster traps. So it's changed big time.
Bahamians can still reliably make a living off the sea, despite this apparent decline in fishery resources. A few years ago, Florida fishermen observed a gradual decline in the queen conch fishery. Without proper management, the queen conch fishery has collapsed in Florida and has yet to recover. Further south, in Jamaica, fishermen observed a similar decline in their marine life. To help protect the livelihoods of Bahamian fishermen, the Nature Conservancy traveled with the Bahamas Commercial Fishing Alliance and the Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association representatives to an international science conference in Corpus Christi, Texas. This trip connected experienced marine scientists, fellow fishermen from across the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, fishery managers, and industry leaders from across the region. 5 Bahamian fishermen participated in this fisher learning exchange at the 66th Annual Gulf and Caribbean Fisheries Institute Conference. This was a rare opportunity for major stakeholders to sit at one table to identify issues and collectively suggest how to address these issues, to share lessons learned and celebrate best practices.
When I went for the exchange in Texas, I hope to gain a lot of experience from other countries and what they're dealing with, so that I can bring back here to my hometown to say, well, these are what people doing in Texas or down in Guyana or Jamaica or whatever this is.
I had hoped mainly to learn some of the different techniques that they use in fishing, see what types of fish they fish for, and compare the ways they fish with them compared to the way we fish for the same species here, as well as I wanted to have an idea of what they had in terms of stocks in particular species compared to what we had here in the Bahamas.
They have a system called a tag system. You can actually track your product wherever it goes. So when they pack these stuff, each one of those fish has a tag. So wherever they go, in whichever part of the world that they go, you can actually track your product. And I think also it boosts the value.
The Bahamian group had the opportunity to speak directly with the fishermen from the Gulf Coast and learn about their daily operations, including the vessels they operate and sustainable fishery methods that they employ. Additionally, the group visited one of Texas's well-known marine protected areas, Padre Island, to see how it operates and the benefits of this designated area.
I always thought marine protected areas were very important, realizing what we have, what those guys had and don't have now, and realizing that we still have an opportunity to preserve a lot of what we have or not allow it to slip away from us.
After seeing what Padre Island had, I think that the Bahamas could do similar things to generate funds. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, with their own crafts, souvenirs, and you could turn them into, like print shirts and so on. Like, we have like Exumaland and Sea Park, like stuff like that. They have the shirts that you could sell, and they have them here. I think it can.
Well, we can use our straw market where we sell all these Bahamian-made wares and stuff, but we can do it at these marine protected areas. We can do it at on a much smaller scale, and we do it in an environmentally friendly way, but we allow Bahamians to sell Bahamian-made craft, again, in an environmentally friendly way, but we allow them an opportunity to profit in a real big way from this.
Establishing marine protected areas and performing other marine management activities are common internationally. In the Bahamas, the Nature Conservancy is working with conservation partners and the government to help protect the livelihoods of fishermen by researching which areas should be protected and consulting with fishermen and other stakeholders about how to protect these areas. All stakeholders, including community members, fishermen, and the government, must be actively involved in efforts to help maintain a healthy environment to ensure the sustainability of our marine resources.
We are lucky here in the Bahamas because what I've learned in other countries, like their fishing is like depleted, especially Jamaica and down in other parts of the islands. But here we still have an opportunity to sustain what we have here. If everybody would get together, work together, and try and sustain our fishermen. The way I feel now about the marine protected areas now, I think they're good, they're great. I mean, for example, Belize. Belize now is one of the number one place for nice, beautiful reefs. And, before that, years ago, it wasn't until they came together as a community and they made all these protected areas and they brought all the reefs back. And I think in some parts here in the Bahamas, if we do the same thing, I think a lot of our reefs that have been killed, after a while, if you make these certain areas a protected area, after a while, you see those reefs come back as well.
After my trip to Texas as a part of that fisherman's exchange, I think it is so important now for as many Bahamian fishermen as possible to take, whenever possible, those kind of trips, because there's so much that you can learn from fishermen from places, and other places in the Caribbean as well as the Gulf states, about marine protection, conservation. If you listen to some of these guys and some of the horror stories they tell about the fisheries in their areas, you would come back here feeling that it is absolutely urgent to put things in place now that would protect us 20, 50 years down the line so that we don't become like some of these other countries and let what we have get away so easily.
Hi, I'm Dr. Wanda Rajas.
Hi, I'm Dr. Manish Sharma.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Johnson, Director of Ambulatory Services at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the Director of Imaging at Doctors Hospital.
I'm a pediatrician here at Doctors Hospital. I am vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID. Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Did you know that there are over 30,000 Bahamians with diabetes and another 23,000 with pre-diabetes? Each year, this number is expected to increase. Many people who have diabetes are unaware. If you are having blurry vision, feeling thirsty, urinating frequently, or are unusually tired or losing weight despite a healthy diet, you may have diabetes. If you have a parent or sibling that has diabetes, you are also at an increased risk of developing diabetes. If you have noticed any of these symptoms, it is important to see your doctor, who will perform the necessary tests to confirm the diagnosis. Together, we can beat diabetes.